Welcome to my presentation. Today I will tell you the 3 lessons that we learned from making an application for people with Korsakoff and their formal caregivers. But first, what was the aim of the study? Well, we made an application for people with Korsakoff Syndrome to relearn daily activities step by step, and with that we want to support both the people with Korsakoff Syndrome and their formal caregivers. So why is this necessary? Care organizations face many challenges today. For example, the aging population, financial pressure, and shortage of staff. Simultaneously, care staff are providing increasingly more complex care because of an increased needs of clients. We want to increase autonomy of people with Korsakoff and support care because of these challenges. In addition, Korsakoff and assistive technology is an understudied area. So, what is Korsakoff syndrome? Korsakoff is a brain disorder that is caused by a vitamin B1 deficiency, and this is often caused by malnourishment after alcohol abuse, but also other cases are known. People with Korsakoff often need lifelong assistance and may live in a care ward, just as Theo. Theo was diagnosed with Korsakoff after a stomach reduction. So as I mentioned before, we want to increase autonomy, but why? Well, this is because people with Korsakoff face different challenges. For example, apathy, which is a lack of initiating behavior, confabulations, which is covering up gaps in knowledge or making sense of a situation. They have a lack of disease awareness, so they may not be aware that they have Korsakoff syndrome. They have difficulties with emotion perception and can have memory-related issues. For example, Theo has difficulties with relearning new appliances, but through a method that's called errorless learning, which is step-based learning, he can relearn activities. With this method, we prevent the learner from making mistakes during task performance, and in a bit I will show you why. So what did we do? Theo lives in a care ward in Arnhem in the Netherlands, and he lives together with 11 other residents and some formal caregivers to take care of them. Paul, as you can see here, is one of the caregivers. My team member conducted a participatory design process over the course of 1 year at the ward where Theo lives. In the first phase, Fenna became familiar with the ward and the employees, and she formulated a question together with the caregivers. In the second phase, she organized co-creation sessions, she did brainstorms, and made concept sketches that were discussed with both the residents and the caregivers. In the final phase, Fenna and the innovation team of the care organization developed STAPP, an application to relearn activities. And this was an iterative progress, where an improvement in the app was made, then tested out with a resident and a formal caregiver, and immediately led to improvements of the app. When the app was done, a final evaluation was conducted over a period of 3 weeks, with Theo, Paul, and some other formal caregivers, and observations, interviews, and field notes were used as data gathering. So what is STAPP? STAPP is an application for smartphones. The phone can be placed near the household appliance in a holder with an NFC tag. When the phone is placed, the application shows videos of the steps, with some textual instruction and a voiceover that tells what to do. Users can pause the video, rewatch it, or continue to the next step. In the current version, 2 tasks can be done with STAPP, making coffee and doing laundry. And both activities were tested during the evaluation. This specific slide illustrates the process of making coffee, and as you can see, the resident has to perform the blue steps first, then wait for 10 minutes while the machine is making coffee, which are the pink steps, and then the application shows a timer that buzzes when the time is over to notify the user that he has to continue with making coffee. And then the residents finalize the coffee making and clean up, which are the green steps. On this slide, you can see a schematic of doing the laundry. This is a bit longer and more complex task because it has 2 waiting moments and it uses both the washing machine and a dryer. So what did we learn? We learned 3 lessons. The first is about autonomy and individuality. The second one is about the digital skills of formal caregivers. And the third one is about context-dependent and flexible technology. We learned that Theo was able to make coffee without the help of Paul, his formal caregiver, after the 3-week evaluation. And this actually enabled Paul to perform tasks nearby, which indicates an increase of autonomy and individuality. However, Cindy, another formal caregiver that we interviewed, mentioned that the application seemed fun and she agreed with the idea that people can do something individually, and she thought it would be nice, but she was not really looking forward to use it because she's not so good with computers. This brings us to the second lesson, the digital skills of formal caregivers. And not only Cindy mentioned something about the technology, but Lucy tells us that she did not use the app because she was not a fan of technology and she prefers human contact. From the interviews, we learned other reasons as well. So, the insecurity of formal caregiver skill set, concerns about in-person support, they have a fear that technology takes over enjoyable activities, and they really wanted to stay close to the resident while using the app. In addition, we learned that formal caregivers really are the initiators of an activity, so also technology usage. And therefore, it's really important to identify the role of stakeholders, the situational context, and digital skills while designing and developing assistive technology in a care context. The third lesson was about the technology. Theo was able to relearn a task, but not without the challenges. So, he really needed detailed information, otherwise he would make mistakes. For example, the button for making coffee on the machine that was used in this specific care ward was very specific. So when the machine was on standby, the button for making coffee had to be pushed once. But when the machine was off, the button had to be pushed twice. This was not in the videos or in the application, and this really influenced how successful Theo was in making coffee. The same was for the washing machine. So Theo wanted to do his bed sheets, but this option was not given in the application, and therefore he really got stuck with using the app and the laundry machine. The second challenge is about feasibility. So when a device breaks and a new one is placed at the care ward, the videos do not align anymore, and therefore Theo will not be able to use the application. And the third challenge has to do with context dependency. So in-person support is still needed, for example when emotions shift or a resident experiences stress. Therefore, technology should include both human assistance and understand the physical, social and emotional context. So as Paul mentioned, the entire process of laundry is too long to keep focus for Theo. And the app is not really something that can solve this, and Paul, has to jump in and guide Theo further. Next to this, the application cannot see if Theo is stressed or read other emotions. So therefore, systems should include human assistance through emotion reading, situational support, and keep humans in the loop. So, what did we conclude? The results motivate researchers to dive deeper into the context of assistive technology and people with Korsakoff Syndrome. Next to this, we should dive deeper into what is necessary to ensure integration of a technology in a care setting, and we should continue to study how to best support underrepresented target groups such as people with Korsakoff. Thank you for listening.